We are live. How's everybody doing this fine day? My name is Alan Roberts. I am here for myself and Mark Lobliner. I believe he is having some trouble. He's in a hotel right now. He's traveling for the Arnold Classic. For those of you that aren't in the fitness realm that don't understand what that is, that's when a bunch of guys get together and they flex in front of each other and then they perform all sorts of like weight stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not making fun of it, but for real, like that's really what it is. And then there's booths that you can go around and talk to people, and then you wait in line to shake their hands and get pictures with them and shit like that. It's weird. I don't go to them, so I mean I would just for the laughs, but I really don't go to them. But he is there with the Ambrosia crew. If you are going to the Arnold Classic, go to the GNC booth because Ambrosia is in GNC now, and that is where our people are going to be. Is Mike Rashid, Mark Loveliner, and Sean Torbody. I don't know if Mark is prancing around in his thong yet. I'm sure there will be folk stories about Mark dancing in his thong. So today I wanted to do some lighthearted stuff, but I also just want to say that the CIA got to go. Like, it's got to go. Like, we openly know, like, just think about what we openly know, right? We know the CIA killed Kennedy. We know they did. It's not even really like a question anymore, right? And when the files come out, it's going to be even worse. Like, if we got all of their files, it would basically show that not only did they kill Kennedy, but very frankly, they have tried to shape not only American politics, but the politics of the world on their own agenda for a long goddamn time. They have assured the takeovers of different governments. Shit, they installed Zelensky in Ukraine, and that's the truth. Zelensky is a fucking comedian, by the way, and I'm not joking. You can look this up. Zelensky, before he became president of Ukraine, was most famous for a comedy sketch where he pretended to play piano with his dick. And I'm not joking. You can look it up. He pretended to play piano or violin or something like that with his dick. That was the accomplishments of the president of Ukraine before he became president of Ukraine. He once, because he's an actor, pretended to be the president of Ukraine for a movie. He's just playing a fucking role. And the CIA put him there. And that's the God's fucking honest truth. So here is something that I think everybody should take a look at. This right here, I found this incredibly interesting. This is off Chief Nerd. I watch all their content. I follow them religiously. But this is Waters. Quote, the CIA is telling CNN that if their funding gets cut, they're going to sell state secrets to Russia. And the FBI is up to no good, too. Michael Schellensberger is reporting a source inside the FBI says the Bureau is destroying evidence. Anybody caught destroying, we are not having the hard conversations. We're going to listen to this and then we'll have a hard conversation. That's for fucking sure.
But Intel doesn't like being told what to do. When they saw Musk with the chainsaw doging foreign aid, they started leaking to CNN. If you doge us, there will be consequences. On the CIA's 7th floor, home to top leadership, some officers are also quietly discussing how mass firings and the buyouts already offered to staff risk creating a group of disgruntled former employees who might be motivated to take what they know to a foreign intelligence service. The CIA is telling CNN that if their funding gets cut, they're going to sell state secrets to Russia. Who the hell hired these Benedict?
That's an act of war.
The CIA is supposed to be filled with patriots, not sellouts. And the FBI is up to no good, too. Michael Schellenberger is reporting a source inside the FBI says the Bureau is destroying evidence. Now we know what their accomplishments were last week. Dear Elon, I wiped the servers cleaner than crooked.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with what that is and Rebecca Kaplan is, she's in our chat, she's saying that is treason. They're basically threatening to say that if their funding gets cut, they are going to, in fact, become traitors to the United States. We should make them all bullet sponges. This is the thing that nobody wants to have these hard conversations because then it's like, oh well. And first of all, I'm not inciting violence. I'm not saying anybody should go after any particular person. I am saying that if you are a traitor to the United States, we should take your life because you are a traitor to us. And the punishment for treason is death. We need to start having these conversations can't be taboo. I have freedom of fucking speech. If I say that somebody who is a traitor to the United States that was in our government and would sell state secrets, if I say they should be held accountable for what the penalty for that is, that's death. And I fucking mean it. We can't just keep accepting this anymore. Like, they don't even get in trouble for shit. That's why they don't fucking worry about it. They don't even get in trouble. They just get fucking like, oh, well, we're going to have a harshly worded letter from the Republicans in Congress. Who gives a fuck? You motherfuckers need to start doing something, motherfuckers, because very frankly, this is where this ends up. We have a bunch of people that think they are so untouchable that they are basically threatening to sell state secrets. They just we should find out who it is. And we should make sure that they see the inside of a deep, dark hole for the rest of their motherfucking life. And we find out who they would have sold them to, who the contacts were that they would have sold them to. This is not acceptable anymore. This is the type of shit that the reason why we got here. This is why Trump won overwhelmingly when the goal was to literally drain the swamp, because this is the swampy shit. This is we rule the country. If you try to take our funding away because we are not serving you, we will fuck you. That's what the fucking threat is. For an organization that we know has laundered money. We know, I mean, we're like the CIA has been involved in just about every type of criminal organization, criminal activity that it can fucking be. And we know this. It is a part of our culture that we know that the CIA does dirty shit. Is it not? Like, if it is literally a part of our culture where we just assume that the CIA does dirty shit, we should stop that. Do you know what the CIA does for America? It gets the rest of the world to fucking hate us. Wrap your head around that. The CIA and organizations like that, they get the world to fucking hate us. They can't stand us because we fucking get involved in their shit. And then we do the USAID thing where we fund NGOs to take over countries by through the fucking media and shit like that. And then we fucking install our own person after we have stage a coup or something like that, because that's what we've done historically in many fucking countries. Our hands are dirty as fuck, dirty as fuck. Somebody said, I've read that the CIA is the world's biggest drug dealer. Completely believe that. 100%. The CIA has got to motherfucking go. They got to go. They got to get out of here. We cannot fucking have them here anymore. They've got to leave. And if I all of a sudden disappear, you guys know what the fuck happened, right? You know what the fuck happened. So beyond that, I just wanted to get through there, and we're going to read some more stuff that's on my Twitter, the bookmark shit. Let's see here. This is this is another thing too. This is a thing on TikTok. They're trying to cancel anybody on TikTok who we found out they're a Trump voter. What the fuck do you motherfuckers think you're going to do? I see that they're trying to basically cancel Floyd Mayweather. What do you think that they're going to do? You guys realize that. And here's the thing. Not only did the majority of the people vote for Trump, but I still think there was some fuck shit going on with the numbers. I mean, California took a month to count their fucking totals. Way more people voted for Trump than even is on the register. They basically made it just too big that they couldn't rig it. The rigging was basically so they could fucking have Senate seats and shit like that. Because if there would have been no rigging, if everybody would have had to have ID to vote, and we had limited mail-in voting, and we made sure that there wasn't 300 fucking year-old people with active Social Security numbers voting. If we made sure all of that shit, I mean, do you know how many tens of millions of people over the age of 110 we're still on the vote. We're still having active Social Security numbers. You don't think that was for voting purposes and shit? Yeah, there might have been a few. There might have been quite a bit of money being fucked around for Social Security benefits and shit like that, right? And pensions, all sorts of shit like that, right? I'm sure there were plenty, but those are all voters. And then maybe they didn't use. I don't know how many they used, but I can almost guarantee you some were being used. Fucking wild. I heard Abe Lincoln voted for Kamala. That's funny. That's very funny. So the reality of the situation is we need to understand what's going on in our country. To the leftists that are like, I hope you're happy with what you voted for. Not yet, but I'm on my way there. I'll be happy when the IRS is gone, when the ATF is gone, when income tax is gone, when property tax is gone, when we are only funding the government via tariffs, when we are only funding the government, and I would be okay with a consumption tax. However, I do believe that consumption tax should also be put onto the stock market, the stock exchange. If we put a 0.05% or 0.5%, or I think it's 0.5% tax on every stock trade, as a newsflash, motherfuckers, we wouldn't. That would fund the government. Oh my God, big businesses might have a problem. I thought that this is what you motherfuckers were for. I thought we were for the people, right? Like, it's so wild. Like, it's the American Stock Exchange, but it's not. You can't have sales tax on it for some reason. Nothing crazy, right? Like, there's sales tax on bubblegum. Like, there's sales tax on shit you need to fucking live. There's tax on fucking water and shit like that. But the stock exchange, don't touch that shit. Like, it's just like how all the Democrats voted. The Democrats all voted against no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and no tax on overtime. They all voted against it. How the fuck? Like, that's your party, right? You're expecting us to feel like social pariahs because we voted for Trump, who's doing the opposite of that. How the fuck is that even possible? The DOJ did not deny the release of the list yet. I believe that's the executive order. They had to wait till the 27th or something like that. That's what I read. I don't know, but I don't think they denied it yet. I think that if we don't have it tomorrow, I mean, we should be in the fucking streets, and I mean that. Dead ass serious. So, but we need to make sure that you guys understand, dear leftists, you guys look fucking crazier than you did earlier. Like, the whole, you're Trump voters, are you happy with yourself? Elatedly. I'll be much happier when the government has no say in what firearms I own. It's none of their goddamn business. I should be able to walk into any goddamn store I want, buy as much ammunition as I want, buy guns right there over the fucking counter. And because if I'm a free person with a valid ID, I should be able to get whatever the fuck I want. It shouldn't be traced. It shouldn't even be taxed. They shouldn't be able to tax a right. Not locally, not federally, not state, nothing. There should be no tax on firearms. There should be no tax on ammo. None. Because it's a right. And any type of governmental interference is an infringement, and that's what taxes are. Taxes are a financial barrier to gun ownership. They should not be attached at all. And I know people don't believe me when I say that shit or think that way, but it is what it is. So now I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart. Well, nearest and dearest. Let's go to this. This is going to be some fun shit. Oops. This is Dr. Ashley Speaks, and I can't play the music because it'll copyright us. But it's Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us," and this is her saying how I respond when people tell me I'm not a real physician and I'm just a DEI hire. She swings her 30-inch braids. Well, I'm going to point out that if you're morbidly obese, you don't know much about health. I'm just going to say that. Because if you did know a lot about health, you would be desperate to not be morbidly obese. You get what I'm saying? Like, doctors are not even qualified to treat metabolic syndrome, if you ask me, because they don't know shit about it. And I present Exhibit A. You know? It's so clear. Like, if you don't know how to keep yourself healthy, maybe you shouldn't be giving other people advice and medication. But let's read what the comments section has in store for this young lady. Well, young old lady. I say young old because she looks like she's probably 30 something, but that might as well be 70 something for her physical stature. Anyway, did medical school have a class about calorie deficit? Let's see. Definitely not a doctor of nutrition. Unhealthy doctor seems like an oxymoron. It seems very fucking clear. I mean, did you make a post telling people with a stroke-like symptoms to visit urgent care? Just, what's up, motherfucker?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just reading through some shit. So you're
I see it looks like fun.
Yes. This is a she's a doctor.
She's a doctor, like Dr. Dre.
Yes. Yeah, like like a doctor.
Like Dr. Dre.
Is Dr. Dre a medical doctor?
Oh, absolutely. Why would he call himself doctor if he wasn't?
I don't know. That's such a good point.
Explain that, like Dr. Joe Biden.
Oh yes, Dr. Joe Biden. And from what Whoopi Goldberg says, she's a great doctor.
She's a phenomenal doctor.
Great
She does heart transplants and all that good stuff.
Let's see here. Swinging 60-inch waist flaps. Brutal.
Oh, you're going comments again.
Timu doctor. Fuck yeah. How was your day, sir?
Oh, it was great, man. It's great. Just another busy day. Just kind of drove little meetings. Yeah, it was fun. I'm in Ohio. So that's you can never be too happy to be in Ohio.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
What a beautiful, beautiful state. I drove from beautiful 80-degree weather to Ohio.
Yeah. It's always so like, wonderful there. Like sunny and smiley and everything like that.
It's just Ohio is Ohio. There's no other way to describe Ohio. It's got its own vibe. It's Ohio.
Yeah, I lived there for a while. When right when I got in the military, I lived there for a while. I ran like bars. I lived in Cleveland. I ran bars and nightclubs in Cleveland.
Oh, you were in there's no good part of Ohio, but you were in the really not good part of Ohio.
Oh, I was in the armpit. At one point in time, I lived in East Euclid too, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar with Cleveland, but it's like it would be nothing to see like a car burning on the street and shit.
That's a good night. That's a good night.
It was an interesting time. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We still went drinking.
Well, I have businesses in Ohio. And people accuse me of living in Ohio. And I'm like, no, I don't live in Ohio. No, do not accuse me of that.
Even before you lived in Tennessee, you didn't live in Ohio. You lived in by Chicago, didn't you?
I lived in Illinois. Yeah, I lived in Elgin. I mean, that's because my brother lived there. That wasn't by choice. I just wanted to live by my brother. But so we looked into moving to Ohio, and it wasn't cheap. I'm like, surely it's inexpensive to live in Ohio, and I'm like, this is not inexpensive at all. Why would I pay that to live here? And then I'm like, I'm moving to Tennessee. Yeah, we looked at houses and everything. Yeah.
Can you imagine if you would have moved by Tiger Fitness? Like you would have worked so much more.
No, I'd probably work less because when you have a home office, it's just it's there, right?
True.
I can imagine I'd be able to leave my work at work a little bit better than
I got you.
Because I forgot to do this, but then again, I'd probably whip out my laptop anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I lived here for a year. I slept in the office during the week and drove home on weekends.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you remember that? You remember that phase?
Yeah, I do remember that phase. Fucking crazy.
Slept in my office. Had a couch bed.
like they have like folk stories about Mark falling asleep with his laptop on his lap in a chair. Like it's like the middle of the night and they fucking come in and he's like,
Well, no, I used to like we have a kitchen and everything in there. So I used to like,
Mhm.
just wake up in the morning. I'm in the kitchen, it's a office kitchen. I got my shirt off, I'm cooking eggs, and they're like, oh, here's Mark. What the fuck's going
That's
on
funny.
here? Hi, man, it
They're
was
like,
my
"Oh, shit."
house.
Yeah,
Warehouses
that's where
are
you
not
lived.
meant to be houses though. Like because when the
No.
air conditioner kicks on in your house, it just kicks on. When you're
Yeah.
when you're cooling off a 50 something square foot building, 50,000 square
Yeah.
foot building is like every time it turns on.
It's so fucking loud. It shakes the
No,
fucking place.
there wasn't one good night's sleep in that place, man. Not one.
It sucks. That sucks. And then you're going to be at the Arnold this week, right?
Yeah, I picked up the mixer. I got a big banner. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So basically, here's how it goes. I
Mhm.
go do all the hard work, set everything up. Everybody else comes and takes credit for it. That's usually how it works.
That's normally how it works. And just so everybody knows, in case you're going to be there, you're going to be at the GNC booth, right?
Booth 1310. I will be there. GNC booth, Microsheet, Shantor Body, myself. I have no clue. A bunch of GNC employees. Like we're just there to kind of christen our relationship with GNC and launch within GNC. And they asked for us to come, and we obliged. So we're here at the behest of
Outstanding.
GNC. Yeah, which
That's
is great.
awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, because you had historically not been going to them, right?
I swore off of them, and then this year, it's like I guess everybody has a price, and my price are large
Yeah.
purchase orders. So I have a price.
But one of the reasons why you swore them off is not even because it's not even the Arnold thing. It's not even because of Arnold's being a fucking shitbag.
No,
I mean,
business is business.
Me and you have talked about business is business. Me and you have talked about it. The return on investment is just very poor.
There's none. So we have bar samples, right? We have a mixer.
Mhm.
We're gonna have Planta in there, and that's pretty much it. And then just us going. So there's no booth expense. But normally you would even if you had a good show, and you trace the sales afterwards, you would lose upwards of $30,000 to $50,000.
It's insane. That's craziness because basically you're giving away product and you're selling discounted product to people that already buy your products.
Yeah, yeah. And nobody knew is like, yeah, I'm going to load up on this. So it's basically people would have bought it anyway. And
right.
no, but for this purpose, it's good. It's driving people to a large retailer of ours. So it does make some business sense. And the shitty thing is I have to miss Preston State, champion state tournament this weekend. So I'm so I've had a lot of wrestling in the last few weeks, and he's fine. He's got my son. He's got some great coaches, Coach Bruner. My wife will be there. I'm there. My daughter's meeting me at the Arnold too. So if you want to meet anybody wants to meet my daughter,
cool.
Yeah, she's driving over from IU, and we're gonna go. We're gonna have a good time. We talk to a bunch of people.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be. So it's the better of the worst case scenario, right? I don't like missing state champ because we're on a run, man. We just placed 4th in state in high school, and now my son's after his 2nd state title in AAU. So yeah, he's been training. He's ranked 8th in the country. So we'll see how it goes.
That's amazing, dude. Like that is an amazing accomplishment.
Not at all. I smacked him right in the face and I said, "You little bitch, you're 8th. You should be 1st." I'm just playing.
God damn it.
Bah, you piece of shit.
What the fuck's wrong with you coming in 8th place like your son?
Go run in the country.
Run,
it's a big fucking country. I'm like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I was never 8th place in the country at anything.
No shit. No kidding.
Shit. Yeah.
I was in when I was in track, I was number 1 in the state at something, but then I was still like fucking 12th in the fucking nation.
Then you realize you're in a shitty state, right? You're like, oh no.
Oh, dude, the funny thing was I was a pole vaulter, man. So I got to indoor nationals, and I'm thinking like I'm gonna fucking do pretty good here. And these fucking kids coming out looking like they're like 28-year-old athletes. Like I'm like, whoa. Dude, there's a stage of puberty that these guys have hit that I have not hit yet.
At Folk Style Nationals, Preston just turned 12, and this 12-year-old he went up against looked like 17. And I was like, he pinned everybody in less than a minute. Preston went all 3 rounds, and he was upset that he lost. And I'm like, you won. You're the only one he didn't pick. Like, shut up. Like, you're good,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
like,
a win.
yeah, but you know, let's say he was on defense more than offense. It was
Yeah.
it was like an elongated like street beating. Like it was like Wes Watson was fighting for the weapon. I mean, kid, so he kept cross facing him and his nose
Yeah.
just kept bleeding. I'm like, you know what? But life's going to be easy for him because when you get your ass kicked in front of a stadium full of people, like because the Nationals, it's not at like a high school. It's in a college, it's in an arena. Like there's a lot of people from all over the country, dude. People flew in from fucking Alaska. And you're like, oh shit, he didn't just get his ass kicked. He got his ass kicked in front of everybody. And I'm like, that's good. Like what in life, like what a way to set you up for life. Because in life, you're going to get your ass kicked a lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was a great
Losing's important. Losing's important. You know what I mean? Like it's like people don't understand this. You get this because you get it. But like my wife and I have probably tried to start 36 businesses, something like that, and we run multiple right now between like the entertainment portion of this and the coaching portion and supplements and like we run different portions now. But like you just keep trying to start businesses. You learn from each one that doesn't work. Like, and a lot of times, like in business, that doesn't work because it just is not like it just doesn't click. Like there's not the right time, right? Yeah. A lot of businesses fail, but the key is to learn from it. I think it goes into fitness and everything like that too, because like you learn what works. Like what works for you physically may not work for me exactly physically, especially because you train like fucking crazy person.
Losing's a motivator too. Like Thomas, last year he lost at regionals in the blood round and he didn't make it to sectionals, didn't make it to state, and he lost it. I remember I walked back because, after he loses, he goes in the hallway and he's fucking meltdown mode, like crying and mad at himself. He still had one more he still had the 5th place match. And I'm like, I walked back there and Coach Rex and Coach Sheehan were back there like, dude, and Rex gave, they're talking him up. And I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, hey, you know how it is with kids. Like I coach hundreds of kids, but your own son might not listen. At that point, he trained, but he didn't actually train. And I said, Thomas, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you want this to never happen again, I can get you there. You just have to listen. He's like, I'm in. And from that point on and on his own, like I only handled the strength, but dude, he would train 5 hours a day, every day, even on vacation. Like and we put wrestling mats in the house. Awesome. He'd have a new kid over every day during the summer to give him some mat work. So he moved from not even making sectionals to 4th in state. So right there, it teaches you the value of hard work. So sometimes you have to lose to be able to realize what it takes to win.
I think especially when shit comes really, really easy to the person, you know what I mean? Like, like when other stuff comes easy to them, or like, because in retrospect, when you look at it, your kids weren't even wrestling like 5 years ago. Like, I mean,
Thomas didn't start till 8th grade. Preston's a cheat code. He started in 3rd grade. So Preston's already had hundreds of matches, right? And hours and hours of mat time. So, Thomas started late. So he had to, so the other kids aren't done. They're not training. So he had to not only train at their level, but to catch up, he had to train 3, 4, 5 times longer and harder than them, get more mat time, get more strength, get more explosion, more power, learn the moves. And he really did it. And the good news is like a lot of kids peak in high school and he's going to wrestle in college. So, but the good news is like my daughter played soccer since she was, friggin' nothing, right? 4 years old, 5 years old. Right. And by the time it came down to college, she was burnt out. Thing is, Thomas is just now starting to love the sport. So I can make an argument for starting later too, right? I can make an argument for playing catch up because he's just now starting to love it. While other kids are like, dude, after my senior year, like there's a kid we coach at Page. He's like, man, I'm done. This is my last match. I'm like, well, you go to college and wrestle. You're good. He's like, yeah, I don't want to. I've had enough. Right. Where Thomas is like, this is fucking awesome. Like, let's go. I get another 4 years after this. Yeah. So I can make an argument for both sides.
So the thing about wrestling too, people do get burnt out on it because honestly, it's fucking physically ridiculously hard.
He went to the doctor today. The last, I think, 4 weeks, he was wrestling on a knee injury. It's either a meniscus or an MCL. So we have to get an MRI on, I think an MRI tomorrow. And then Monday we go over the results. It's probably gonna be a minor, 3-day recovery, snip, snip. If it's an MCL, that's non-surgical. So you're just, it's rough, man. He went through a hip strain this year that he fought through. He had obviously the knee injury. We have one kid who has to have shoulder and knee surgery after the friggin' season. It's basically wrestling is the art of folding clothes while people are still in them.
I fucking love that. That's so true.
It is. It's wild.
That's so true.
And once you get, the little regional, whatever, but once you get into like, okay, now we're in regionals and sectionals, you wrestle the big guys, the good guys, then you go to nationals and all these different things, super 32s, that's when you're going to get injured. Because when you wrestle a shit wrestler and you're good, you kind of, you tech them where you get 15 points. You're just kind of practicing the local kids, the non-top 10 in the state. But then when you go outside of that, they move so much faster. And both kids know so many counters and so many moves. That's when the risk of injury is just through the roof. When you're a shit kid getting his ass kicked, you're probably not going to get injured because you're not really doing anything at them, right? It's like one-sided. But when you have two really good wrestlers, really strong, really good, really technical wrestlers, that's when you have two kids who know how to do things. And that's where I see the injuries. And that's when the further you get into state, the further you get into nationals, that's when the injuries happen. So, he wasn't good enough last year to get injured. I can look at it that way. Now you're good enough to get injured. Yeah, but he'll be fine. He's good. He's just, but this doctor's dope. He actually did a ACL surgery on a kid who we took after he got his ACL fixed to get him better so he doesn't get it hurt again. And this doctor was like, he came in, he's like, before I do this MRI, you're still moving. You still wrestle on it, right? He's like, do you have anything in the next 3 months or whatever? Do you have anything in the next near future? He's like, Tom's like, no. He's like, all right, let's take care of it now. Because if there was something, I'd say, don't even let me see the MRI. Keep wrestling. I'm like, now that's a good doctor. He's like, he's a sports doctor. He knows that their dream is to wrestle, and he knows that he's not going to do more. If it meniscus MCL, you're not going to damage it more. It's already damaged. No. So he's like, all right, go do what you need to do. So he's a great doctor. Bone and Joint Institute is fantastic in Franklin, and
it's awesome.
He has a great team. So I'm happy. He's happy, and we've been training every day at 5 a.m. before school because then he wrestles in the afternoon. So he literally the Sunday after state, we were doing freaking squats. No, we were doing shoulder press. We were doing overhead press. Like, I mean, it's just, he's just crazy. He's found his why.
That's awesome. And that's so important.
As a parent, you want to find them something that keeps them out of trouble. And the thing is the cheat code in life is wrestling, because all his friends are wrestlers and they will never, ever drink or even stay out late because it messes up their next day of training.
Right. And they love the training. Exactly.
Oh, they love it, dude. It's a cheat code as a parent.
So really I got something awesome. It's on a different topic, but it's awesome. It's awesome.
I'm waiting for it.
I'm pulling it up right now. Pam Bondi announces Epstein flight and lists will be dropped tomorrow. It's pretty sick what this man did.
How the hell is she 60, bro?
I don't know.
I don't care what plastic surgery she's had. I'm a fan.
It's impressive. Like, it really is, because she looks in her late 30s.
10 out of wood. Yeah.
Yeah. 10 out of wood. But when I researched it, because the other day we were talking about, like, okay, where's the fucking list? Apparently, Trump's executive order listed that it couldn't be released until the 27th, or something like that. So yeah, something like that. But I don't know what took her so long. But let's listen to what she has to say.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do, Jesse. There are well over this will make you sick. 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims, Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look
with
for
his
that.
co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
Wow.
What do you think?
It sounds like she's releasing it all. I don't know. What are you getting from that? I mean,
I'm getting from it that she's like she got a little wishy-washy when it was talking about like, are we going to see the flight logs? Are we going to see the videos? And she was like, you'll see some information. I wonder what the information is going to be. Because my thing is I want it all. I want the videos. I want everything, because I seriously, like, I have a few like steadfast things. America can't move forward until people like Epstein and Diddy are like punished. Otherwise, that they literally can just get away with it because they're rich and powerful, and we can't have that anymore. But also, we need like that, and we need to address the crimes of the pandemic. Like, those things need to happen. I think that's actually starting up. They're starting to do investigations for that.
well, I mean, dude, they got Bongino. Like, what the hell? Bongino. I would have never guessed that. That wasn't even on my radar. That's like bonus. Like, I was just like, I was looking at some Cernovich stuff. He's like, dude, he's like, this is 11 out of 10 what they're doing. It's 11 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
I love when the liberals are like, oh, Trump voters are mad. I'm like, no.
I was talking about that before you came on here. I was talking about that. Like, I don't understand why you guys think we're upset about anything. I was like, don't get me wrong. I think me and you do a good job of like, okay, we need to fine, but I want more. Like, here's what I want. This also. Like,
Yeah,
I think our job is to press them. But
there's so much stuff, Alan. They can't do it that fast. And also, these are big, hairy, audacious projects, right? But you look at what else she's dealing with. Like, she has a lot on her plate. And while the Epstein list might be pending things, like, for example, they just got rid of all the attorneys that were helping Jack Smith prosecute Trump. So those are things that, I mean, think about a daily task. Like, let's put in perspective. Filling out, just simply reconciling QuickBooks for me can take an hour, right? Just reconciling in just one of my companies, right? Like, think about it that way. Have you ever tried firing every single attorney who's ever worked in prosecuting your boss, when there's dozens of them and you have to weed them out from the thousands of contracted employees that the government has? So I just don't think there's enough time in the day. So while the Epstein list is like first on our mind, they have to not only go back and get this stuff, but they also have to do the day-to-day stuff. And I'm guessing there's a lot of day-to-day shit in being the attorney general. And being anything like RFK and Kash Patel, like, they're jumping into, like, imagine you woke up and like your task list is like 10,000 things.
Yeah, it's valid, very valid.
So, I mean, there's only so many hours in the day. They have to, and this, unlike the last administration, this administration, where do we hear that? On Jesse Waters, because they're going out, they're talking to the press, they're doing these interviews, they're giving information to the American public, which is something we haven't had in years. So I look at it like we're in a really good spot where I just think we need, and last time we're like 4D chess, Trump this, Trump, no. Trump's doing everything we asked of him. But, you know, when people say that'll be out in the first 24 hours, you know, that's hyperbole. That is because they want to get the job. They want you to like them. But I have no doubt that Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, Dan Bongino, RFK, Tulsi, I have no doubt that they have every intention to give us everything they promised.
I don't doubt that either. I don't like that it gets wishy-washy. Like, to me, and you know how I think, dude, because my thing is like, they shouldn't be able to keep secrets from us anyway. You know, like, I'm very staunch on that, you know?
Oh no, I agree. I'm just kind of looking at it like, We have
Devil's
to
advocate,
be
like they have a lot of shit. Yeah.
I'm picked because I was just today. I'm trying to get everything done before I left at 12. And I'm like, I'm just not going to get it done. So I didn't get it done. And now I'm trying to catch up. And it's like, all right, now imagine if I'm not just dealing with my bullshit companies, I'm actually dealing with the USA and a huge pedophile ring and attorneys who tried to put and then also you have the dissenters. You got people in the government now trying to literally sabotage what they're doing. So, I mean, everything they do, they have to be really careful because there are still moles in the government and they are wary of that. So every step they take, they have to do it perfect.
Well, fired like 100 people from the CIA and the intel services for the trainee fucking deviant, like sexting private chat on our government servers. Like,
who does that? Like who even in any corporation, let's say you're not with the US government, who has a kink chat on your workers' servers, right? Like imagine if I had employees who set up a sex chat room on Slack. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you're fired. Everybody's fired. I'm fired. What the
well, that's actually the thing too. Like, and I talked about this earlier today. It's like, because that chat existed, the CIA is either too inept to know it was happening, which means we shouldn't trust them to be doing the things that they are supposed to do, because they're central intelligence, right? Or they knew about it, which means we shouldn't be trusting them to do the things they're supposed to do. The CIA should no longer be a thing for the United States. We should just get rid of this shit.
You know me, I love tranny kink as much as the next guy, but just don't do it on company servers.
Yeah, good point.
Like when I do my tranny kink, I usually do it like, via just normal text or maybe a Telegram or something, but I never do it on work servers. And you know me,
ever.
I can't go a day without tranny kink.
It's one of the things I've known most about you.
Hey, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
look, the tranny life.
Should we dare say that tranny kink is like a religion?
I didn't choose tranny kink. Tranny kink chose me. Okay.
And I hear that's how it happens. It just picks you. Like,
I'm so tired right now. I think my ADHD has gone in a weird tranny kink direction.
It definitely has, but we're just rolling with it. It's all good.
I think I really enjoy the word tranny kink. Like, I think that is my new favorite term, tranny kink.
They got so upset about the word tranny.
I don't understand it. Like, it's just short for. It's like calling a Jewish person a Jew, right? Like, what's wrong with calling a transvestite or a transgender a tranny?
I have no idea. Just so everybody knows, on March 6th, by the way, Buck Angel, transsexual, and that's his name. He goes by Buck Angel Transsexual. He will be on our show being interviewed by us, and we can ask him that, because I think that would be a very interesting interview. Yeah,
tell me more about the tranny kink. Tell me more.
And the fucked up thing is, I bet you he'd be like, it's disgusting, because, like, honestly, like, true transsexuals like him and Blair and people, they just want to present as the opposite sex. Like, they know biologically they're still the sex they were born, and shit like that.
People could have been doing that. That's the thing. But they were into kinky shit. They weren't into standard tranny stuff. They were into tranny kink. I need to look up what tranny kink is. Everybody going to Google that with me?
No, I'm not, actually. I'm not putting that on my hard drive. It's just not going to happen. So
I'm going to have to use a VPN for that one.
Yeah, use a VPN and use Sean's laptop.
Oh, Sean. I'm gonna go to the office and break into Chad's computer right now. It's right down the road.
Use Chad's.
Chad's wife goes, Chad, what's this about tranny kink?
What's all this tranny kink on your computer?
If my wife caught that on my computer, like, I'd be like, yeah, I was looking up tranny kink. Like, what's the problem? Are you homophobic? Are you transphobic?
It's research for a video.
I look up some shit though. Like, I will look that up. I guarantee it. Cause I'm like, I shouldn't. Shit, fucking, I'm doing it. And I'm
Yeah.
Tell me you don't look up
shit you
shouldn't look up out of curiosity.
Oh, everybody does. Everybody does. Like, The one thing I didn't look up that I knew a bunch of people that looked up was when like a big Lenny, a sex tape released of him and some trainees.
I never looked that up.
And,
I have my limits.
Yeah, I have my limits. I know people that did, like, and I'm like, why? I think differently about you now. Like, I had nothing against Lenny because Lenny was very open about liking trannies, you know. But you watching Lenny have sex with and get pissed on by a bunch of trannies was a little weird to me. Like you like knowing that it was going to be complete disgusting debauchery. You don't have a right to complain that it was complete disgusting debauchery because you knew ahead of time. You know?
If I ever decided to have sex with a tranny kink tranny, I probably would sweep the room for cameras to make sure that there is no evidence of me having tranny kink sex.
Yeah. Yes. Like actually have a device, like plan ahead, get the device.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Kind of like, didn't Trump apparently find some like listening devices in the White House?
In the Oval Office's desk. Like I was saying this earlier. At some point in time, we're gonna have to start like doing what we're supposed to do with traitors. Like, like
when did we stop? Like, why did we stop? I don't understand. It seems like a rational idea.
Yeah, and we're just going to have to get back to that because people aren't afraid at all of it anymore. Like, think about the audacity of 2020. Like, and for those that everybody understands, like, of course, like there was a bunch of fuck shit with the voting in 2020. Think about that. Like, people wheeling in entire suitcases full of ballots. Like, you're committing like serious fucking treason.
Yeah, but it was the Democrats.
Fuck that.
They don't get in trouble.
But fuck that orange man.
I like the orange man. Orange man's good.
Me too. The orange man.
I actually had a new perspective. I was talking to one of my business partners today, and he's like, firing government employees is going to negatively impact the economy in the short term.
Good. Absolutely.
But he's like, but in 3 years, it'll be awesome. But we just got to understand that right now, it's probably going to have a negative impact because those people are getting paid. They're buying stuff, right? Like you're creating this like void of people doing commerce, right? But we have to do it. But it doesn't seem like these people have any interest in working like the private sector. They're just too lazy to get jobs. They're kind of like every fitness influencer out there.
Yeah, right. No shit. Like,
is it that hard to work? Like, is work really that bad? I can't imagine. Like,
I fucking love it. Dude, what would we do with our brains if you and I didn't do what we do every day?
I had a dinner meeting last night, and my friend was like, "So, why? What are you doing? Like, how do you work?" So I'm like, "I just really enjoy working. It's fun. Yeah. It gives me purpose. I complete new tasks every day. It gives me a sense of like manhood to provide for my family, right? Like that's. But imagine if you're Cali Muscle, and you're so afraid to get a job that you rip people off."
Yeah, but I sent you that thing on him today. I can't believe in 6 month period of time he went from anything to made in the lab, all supplements are the devil and protein powders cause cancer and this, that, and the other thing, and now he's literally like, and don't get me wrong, we sell supplements too, and no shame. I mean, but ours supplements are good. That's the thing. And wait till you motherfuckers see what we got coming up. But it's like, why would you hawk stupid shit? Like, I mean, I get he's got to be very, very, very desperate. I mean, that eye surgery had to be expensive as fuck.
But here's the thing. Like, I said this on my fitness video the other day, talking about something, sort of, related. Is there's a reason why I haven't moved off grid, is because I have a backup plan. Now with my resume, I can get a job as a CMO, or I get a job as a director of something, and I can make really probably better money than I make now working for someone else. So I always try to live like I lived within 40 minutes of Chicago. Now I live within 20 minutes of Nashville, and there's 100 jobs that'll pay me really well because I'm not afraid to work and I will produce. If somebody hires me and pays me $500K, I'm making them $2 million, or probably more, probably $100 million. So I know I have that value to companies. But,
Right.
I told this story about this guy, and his name was Thomas, and we called him Beard because he had a really good beard. And he managed a bunch of nutrition stores, nutrition depots in Texas. And he had some falling out with the owner, and he was like, he left his job. So I called him like 2 months later, and he was making good money. Like, he was managing a chain of stores, probably making, I'm guessing at the time, 70, 80 grand a year. And I was like, called him 2 months later. I was just saying, man, how you doing? He's like, man, I'm just working. I'm like, what are you doing now? It's like pouring concrete. Really? He's like, yeah, I get paid more than I did before. He's getting paid because nobody wants to pour concrete. So he's getting paid tons of cash. He's like, yeah, it's hard work, but I'm working and I'm producing. And I'm like, holy shit, I admire you. Like, that is man shit. Like, he had bills to pay. And instead of being like, oh, I can't find an office job, motherfucker rolls up his sleeves and starts pouring concrete.
I would probably honestly go to some physical work. I really would, because I got so burnt out with because I could always go back to healthcare. I mean, I could always do that, but it's just like I don't want to be like, and well, if it changes, I'd definitely go back. I'm not saying I won't eventually even. You know what I mean? Like, if they're able to reform it, but I probably would do something like digging ditches or something like that, bro. Like, just like give me some physical fucking labor all goddamn day.
Man, there's just something rewarding about a man putting in a hard day's work. And yes, I said a man because that's what we're programmed to do. Women are not programmed for that. Now, women can do it, but I believe when a man doesn't work, you become a sellout bitch, like a Cali Muscle.
Yeah.
Or you start doing OnlyFans like Jason Blaha, right? Like, I believe men, a man's value comes a lot for what he can provide. Because, I mean, I don't like, you think about it like women and shit, like, oh, it's Valentine's. What's my Valentine's Day? Oh, it's Mother's Day. My father, my brother, every man I've ever known, he doesn't give a fuck about gifts, right? He doesn't care. It doesn't matter if he just gets some shitty socks for Christmas. All he cares about is, what did my family get? What did my kids get? And I'm not saying women are evil for that. I'm just saying that it's biological. Like, men go out, they hunt, they bring food back. And the mother, whatever species it is, most species will feed the family, will find a way to divvy it up amongst their young. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So when a man does not have purpose in life, they go by the wayside. They start losing themselves. They start becoming depressed. They become addicted. So if you can actually have purpose and sustain a family, I think that's why married men live longer. Men with children live longer. It's because you're fulfilling that primal need. And that's the reason men are empty and men get depressed, is because they don't fulfill their primal needs. And that's not just sex and whatever. That's to provide. That's to be meaningful. Yeah.
Well, I also think, like, I mean, even physical training, like, there is a certain part, like, the male human is supposed to physically push themselves. That's why we have testosterone. That's why we get physically stronger. That's why, like we are, like, we evolved to be the labor, basically. We're the warriors, we're the labor, we're that shit, right? And it's this weird fucking thing where men don't want to do, like, men really don't want to work out. They really don't don't want to, like, do shit. When I don't, like, work out for like 2 days in a row for whatever reason, travel or whatever, like, it'll drive me goddamn crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I need to physically exert myself, like, especially living in the South. I got this phrase, like, I want to be drenched in sweat, like, dripping off me at least once a day. Like, I mean, it feels so good,
Yeah, there's one guy, he's actually a parent of one of my son's friends, good friend of mine. His name's Shay. And he actually was a horrible accident when he was a kid, burned his face off, half his face. He's missing an ear. And this guy runs triathlons, ultra marathons. He went and ran in Antarctica. He does this crazy shit, right? And it's because he lives for that. He lives for that adventure. He lives for that, like, he wants to feel alive. And that's what men need. Men need to be challenged. And it's just, and my sons have that. My daughter has it. And women too. Like, it's not like women should work out too. You know, women, it also has, what training does for men, it'll do a lot for women too. Like, you feel depressed, dude, studies, you talk about follow the science, right? Trust the science. Science shows that exercise is more effective than any of those psychological drugs you could take. Fuck, fish oil is more effective than them. But, and that's data. I'm stating data here, right? So
I wrote an article about it not too long ago.
Yeah, so you're looking at like how to become a better person. You know, people text me, you know, I'm depressed. What should I do? I'm like, go fucking lift something heavy. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why are you depressed? You live in America. You're typing on a computer or sending this on a phone. You're not broke. You can afford a computer. You're not broke. You bought a computer.
Right.
Like, when I was broke, I didn't have a computer. So it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Just be thankful for what you have and make the most of it and work harder to get out of your situation. I lack empathy. Because I've been there, man. I've been poor. You know, I've been poor. I've been fat.
Yep. Been poor, been fat. God.
But I've always been sexy.
But, oh, well, of course.
I was a sexy fat man.
You can't even help that shit, dude. Like, I mean, it's just like.
It's my pheromones. You have to smell me to really understand.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's like I mean, for some reason, whenever you smell Mark, you just like are all of a sudden reaching for the button on your pants. You're like, what the fuck's going on here?
I'm oozing machismo, bro.
Yeah, just oozing machismo. God, I haven't heard that phrase in a long goddamn.
That's time. Razor Ramon, baby.
So, brother, you're not going to be here tomorrow when we go over the fucking list. So,
I'll be busy. Well, I think so. I'm set. I gotta pick up the party. I gotta set up the booth. And then I think Mike and Sean land at like 8. And I don't know what the hell is going on. I just know that there's a booth to set up and I'm the one here. So that's all I know. I know that I have one job, and that's to set up that booth and, you know, just figure out what's going on and pick up supplies. You know how it is. But I live for this shit. I love it. I love it. I'm a micromanager. So when the team's like, hey, I'm like, let me do my work. I'll gladly work. I like working. It's fun. You know, just get me out here. And then I have to deal with, I love the customers. I hate the other people in the industry. So I try to just go straight to my booth, stand there and just fucking just do my thing, because I can't be bothered with industry people. And not that I'm better than them. It's just that I'm better than them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I fucking love it. I love it.
Oh God, everybody's so fake, bro.
I know, and the industry we've separated from is just unreal.
I said I'd never go, and I'm here, and I'm just like, I can't wait to see everybody, because I love people. Like, everybody in the chat who's met me, the problem with me is I don't shut the fuck up, and I live for this shit. But I just don't like the industry. I don't like the people in it. They're not genuine people.
No. They all play a character, and I think like it's almost like jealousy on your part, because if we could play characters, I think we might. But our ADHD just does not allow it. You know?
No. Unfortunately for you guys, this is us. This is not an act. This is how we talk on the phone. This is basically our phone conversation, but streamed live. I mean, it's all over. I didn't call you today, by the way. I was caught up on an Ambrosia call. It took like 3 hours. So
that's what I figured.
Yeah, and then by the time I got there, I'm like, I'm almost in Ohio, and I got to poop. I didn't want to call you from the toilet.
I so appreciate it, because
it's weird.
Mark gives you play-by-play when he does that. So.
I usually have video. I have the video phone on. Hey, look at that one. Man, so I will. So if I can, because I'm an hour ahead. It depends, but I might call in like a guest. My daughter will be with me, so she might be with me, and because if they land at 8, that means that's your 7. I might have a good half hour, but we'll see. But if I do call, you'll have a special guest Cammy with me. That's
awesome, man. That's awesome. Have a good time at the thing.
Yes, sir.
You probably we'll call next week or something like that, or whenever on your drive back is fine too.
Absolutely, brother. Well, everybody have a great rest of your week. Greatly appreciate you. By the way, go to ambrosiacollective.com. That's ambrosiacollective.com, and get Alan's products. No Morbidity and Alchemy, but you could also add something called Ember to it. which makes the Holy Trinity stack. You get 10% off that and all products at ambrosiacollective.com with coupon code Evening Rants. That's coupon code Evening Rants, just like the name of the show. Also, if you want more variety, you can also go to tigerfitness.com. Use coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, to get 10% off everything on the site.
Awesome. And here we go. Everybody have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. God damn.
The Holy Trinity Bundle isn't just about weight loss, it's about empowering you to find your healthiest, happiest self. Let's talk about what's in the bundle and how it caters specifically to our needs. First, we got Ember, which is not just any fat burner. It's also going to boost your mood, your energy levels, while also suppressing your appetite. And if you're worried about it being too strong, you can split the tablet in half to tailor its impact. Next, we have Alchemy NCT, which turns the carbs that you eat into energy and not fat. Yes, energy, not fat. This is our way of making sure that the meals that you eat contribute positively to your weight loss journey. And girls, we all know that we want that. And finally, no morbidity. This one's my favorite because it works while you sleep. It burns fat and controls those nighttime cravings without any stimulants, so you wake up feeling refreshed. Try it out and feel the genuine difference. Here's to new beginnings and real results.